In the ancient world, mortality was always visible. We obsess over new beginnings, ignoring the incessant blowing of time and our finite nature. But King Solomon, the ancient architect of reality, viewed the world through a much colder lens. His core thesis in Koheles is jarring. The definitive end of a life is vastly superior to its speculative beginning. A new birth is a gamble. It is pure, unproven potential wrapped in celebratory anxiety. A completed life, however, offers stoic, measurable certainty. You can evaluate the actual results and the truth of the man. This is why King Solomon advises that attending a house of mourning provides vastly more existential value than attending a wedding. The living must take the destiny of man to heart, studying the end to understand how to live the middle. True character is not forged in the empty distraction of fleeting celebrations. It is built in the sober, quiet confrontation of our shared destiny. This ancient articulation of philosophical pragmatism extends directly into daily human behavior. An earned, proven reputation is infinitely more valuable than the glamorous scent of mere possibility. It is the original bird in the hand principle. To illustrate the trap of the unethical hedonist, King Solomon uses the metaphor of crackling thorns rapidly burning beneath a cooking pot. The thorns generate loud, deceptively grand noise, but they burn out instantly, providing no sustainable heat or substance. Contrast that loud, empty facade with the quiet, sustained focus required to actually build ethical character. True wisdom demands enduring the distress of difficult environments rather than chasing the superficial delight of constant merriment. Externalities like bribes or superficial gifts act as a snare. They confuse the wise and destroy their objective reasoning, substituting real value with an enticing illusion. A mediocre but fully completed project outvalues a brilliant but unfinished one. Sustained, quiet patience defeats hasty, arrogant ambition. Moving from the psychology of the individual to the bustling mechanics of ancient commerce, King Solomon turns his attention to the survival of civilization. He outlines an early vision of political economy. Material assets and scientific progress must be inextricably combined with a strict ethical framework. You cannot have one without the other. Without that ethical wisdom to regulate it, material wealth and technological advancement become lethal forces. They are highly efficient tools wielded by unrefined human impulses. True societal advancement is only possible when economic and scientific assets are strictly encircled and protected by a vanguard of ethical wisdom. Applying this to the gritty reality of governing flawed populations requires a balanced, realpolitik approach to statecraft. Realpolitik is a system of politics based on practical, observable realities, rather than purely moral or ideological theories. Relying on pure idealism, a naive belief in human righteousness, tips the scale violently, cracking the foundation. Swinging to pure cynicism and harsh punishments shatters the center pivot. To survive, King Solomon mandates perfect equilibrium, aggressively balancing ethical education with strict law enforcement. Successful governance requires the cognitive endurance to hold two conflicting realities at once, aspiring to profound ethical wisdom while ruthlessly managing inevitable human corruption. Yet, despite possessing this precise blueprint for survival, human civilizations continually collapse. As deep shadows stretch over the remnants of past empires, we are forced to ask why. King Solomon points to historiographical pessimism, the reality that the vital wisdom of the past is simply too intellectually and psychologically distant for the present generation to internalize. This historical amnesia guarantees that humanity will endlessly repeat the catastrophic mistakes of its ancestors. We fail to read the writing on the wall. When scouring history for consistent data, Solomon found one lethal, empire-ending snare that repeatedly traps powerful leaders: romantic obsession and infatuation. The resulting bloodshed and political downfall are not due to an inherent flaw in women. Rather, the destruction stems from the addictive, self-destructive calculations of men who willingly abandon their logic. Human misery is self-inflicted. God designed the human mind to be objectively straight, but we actively destroy our own civilizations through corrupt, subjective calculations. King Solomon dismantled the comforting illusions of human potential, unguided progress, and historical immunity. He leaves us standing under a darkening twilight sky, forced to view the world exactly as it is. Having exposed the internal architecture of human self-destruction, Shlomo HaMelech will now turn his attention to the perilous art of advising kings and reveal why delayed justice serves as the true engine of rampant criminality.